Hey guys, I'm the Berk and I do things, and today's video is going to be a chatty get ready with me, catching up on the last however many weeks of my life. I'm pretty sure I haven't sat down and filmed in like 2.5 weeks. It feels like a lifetime. I definitely am out of the swing of things. A lot has been going on lately, especially if you saw my community post or my last vlog. It's been a lot. I'm going to try not to make this like a Debbie Downer get ready with me, but it's definitely been a bit of a struggle bus here lately. I'm not going to be specifically talking about any of the makeup I use within this video, but if you are interested in anything, I will link everything down below. And if anything is an affiliated link, it will be marked with an asterisk. So yeah, if you just want to hear me ramble about my life and everything that's been going on, then keep on watching. Let's go. Okay, I do have like a note in front of me on my phone that I made to try to remember to talk about everything. As I'm filming this video, I'm supposed to be in Boston. I'm filming this video on June 12th, and one of Scott's best friends from high school got married yesterday, and Scott was supposed to be in the wedding. As you can see, we're not in Boston, and it's been very upsetting. Let's kind of rewind time, I suppose. So on the 29th, Scott's younger sister got married. All three of us were in the wedding. I was a bridesmaid, Scott was a groomsman, and Phoebe was the flower girl. It was a very nice wedding. We all had a great time. Phoebe was wonderful at being a flower girl. We really lucked out. But of course, the one time I go to an event in the last 2 years, I get COVID. And it's not even like a lot of people got really bad COVID. Like a few people got COVID, and like everyone else was either like asymptomatic or very low symptoms. And I got it really bad. So obviously Scott and Phoebe got it, and like all three of us like were taken out. Technically, we're still in quarantine as I'm filming this, because since Phoebe is too young to mask, the pediatricians have her in quarantine until the 15th of June. It's basically been 2 full weeks of us quarantined together in our house, which has been quite the experience. You know, I always said early on in 2020 how bad I felt for parents who were quarantined with their kids in the pandemic, and like, yeah, especially a kid who's like super sick for the first time in her life. It's been a really, really hard week. I feel like I look how I feel. I feel like I just like look like I've been on the struggle bus the last 2 weeks. Let me see if I can get back to my note. Like I said, it was Lisa's wedding. I don't think I said her name, Lisa. Her name is Lisa, Scott's younger sister. She has been on my channel before. We've actually filmed a couple of videos before. That was back in like 2019. I think it was 2019, yeah, because it was in this house. Yeah, we filmed a couple of videos on my channel before, if you have been around that long. And like I said, the wedding was great. It was a wonderful wedding. We had a great time. What's so funny is, if you watch my vlog, you would have seen that the bridesmaid's dress I had was too long. And I had bought my bridesmaid's dress on Amazon. And it was like a $50 dress. I thought it was really nice. It was like exactly what I wanted for the dress. But it was too long on me because I'm 5'2", and you know, any kind of ball gown I get is by default too long. But it was a $50 dress, and I just like, I couldn't commit to paying for alterations on a $50 dress. So I told Lisa, I was like, I'm gonna just have this dress really long when I'm wearing heels for like photographs and the ceremony, and then I'm just gonna cut the dress before the reception. And she was like, yeah, do whatever. So my parents were like in charge of Phoebe, so they had her during the wedding weekend, and they were in charge of like bringing her to the ceremony and getting her after she walked down the aisle, feeding her during the ceremony. So my parents were there, and after the ceremony, it was a very quick ceremony, we went back to like the bridal suite, and Phoebe was eating, and my dad had brought scissors because I said, bring scissors so you can cut my dress. And while Phoebe was eating, my dad cut the bottom of my dress so that I could put on sandals and dance the rest of the night. It was so funny, but yeah, that's kind of my style. Just cut my dress, Dad. Oh, I didn't put my cat ears on. I'm like, my hair's driving me crazy. The wedding was on Sunday, and then Tuesday night I was getting like right around like nighttime, like getting ready for bed. I told Scott, my throat's kind of hurting. And I was like pretty sure that like your throat hurting is like a really early sign of having COVID. And I was like, oh God. So it hurt all night long in my sleep. And my parents were supposed to come over that day to help me out with Phoebe. And I texted them that morning and I said, you know, my throat has been hurting all night if you guys don't want to come over. And they were like, oh, just take a COVID test. And if it's negative, we'll come over. If it's positive, we'll just cancel. And like, I wasn't super convinced that a COVID test that early would be positive, but it was negative. So they came over and they helped. And of course, the next morning I tested positive. Now, I think they were extremely fortunate because 2 weeks before the wedding, they had gotten their second booster shot. So they were like super, they had just gotten like that vaccine, and I think that made a big difference. So I was pretty jealous. Like no one in our immediate family got sick besides us. Like the bride and groom didn't even get sick, and they by default literally were visiting and talking to everyone at the wedding. I don't understand, because technically I'm the only one who got sick, and then like I tried not to give it to Scott and Phoebe, but I'm pretty sure it was too late by the time like I tested positive and I started masking around them, because I was positive Thursday and then they both were really sick by Sunday. I will say I am very grateful that we kind of got COVID in tandem, because I wasn't super sick. Like I just felt like I had like I just had like a cold, but Scott got really, really sick. And then like being able to like not be the peak sickness at the same time helped a lot with dealing with Phoebe. But it was it was definitely not easy not being able to have any help with Phoebe, because like so many people were like, we'll come over and help, like we don't care if we get sick. And it was just like, I didn't want to keep doing like COVID down the lane and extending this into like July. I was like, no, I want like the first half of June to be like the time we have COVID, and then just like be fine the rest of summer, not worrying about our whole families getting COVID and just passing it along to everyone. So toddlers and COVID, not fun. I feel like you can tell, like I tested positive June 2nd and like it's the 12th and I'm still very congested. I did officially though yesterday test negative, so like I definitely don't have COVID anymore, but my God. But yeah, the side effects are still lingering. I would say all three of us are still very congested, which again, like this is really Phoebe's first time ever getting sick. So like her like coughing is so weird, because like she's never had a cough before, and it's just been like very, very sad. So like I said, I tested positive on Thursday, and Scott was working from home Thursday and Friday when I was sick. What happened was after Thursday, I was so tired from having to chase her around that I was like, I kind of mentioned this in my vlog, but I was like, I needed something like really big and exciting to keep her distracted tomorrow, because I cannot chase her around. And I was like, we've been wanting to get her a dollhouse. Let me look on Facebook Marketplace and see if I can find someone selling a dollhouse at like a very decent price. And I found one, and the person was selling it for $35. And I think Scott said, would you take it for $30? And they said yes. And then they said they only wanted cash, and he could only find $29 in cash. So we got it for $29. It's 4 feet tall, which like I knew it was really big when we bought it, but my goodness. Yeah, it's really big, but I really like it. I think she really likes it. She doesn't fully understand how to necessarily play with it yet. It has like, of course, on one of the highest floors, it has like a swing. So she likes to put little characters in it and push them and say we. I did try to find it online. I found it on something like on Walmart, but it was like, you can only buy it if you had a Walmart Plus or something membership. So I don't know what it means. I think it's like a really old dollhouse, so it's like been discontinued. So I really can't link it, but I could definitely put the link for the Walmart version of it. It's still living in our living room right now as we're getting through this coping period. And then it's going to be moving to the basement, and then eventually probably up into her bedroom when she's a little older. That's the plan. It does have a wall mount, so we could mount it to the wall in her bedroom, which will be nice. Speaking of which, we haven't mounted anything in her bedroom yet. That's actually been on the to-do list since I was pregnant, mounting furniture in Phoebe's room. It was definitely very scary seeing Phoebe so sick with COVID, because COVID is just such like a, I don't know, we like don't know enough about COVID, I feel like, and I was just so nervous about her. And on top of it, she had 2 viruses at the same time. Without getting into too much detail, like right before the wedding, Phoebe was going to the bathroom a lot, let's just say, quite frequently, to the point where the morning of the wedding, my mom said she's gone 6 times already. So we already had that going on with Phoebe. So once she kind of wound up with COVID, I had to call the like after hours people at the pediatrician, because it was a Sunday. And they said that is like an intestinal virus that takes like 2 weeks to clear out. So on top of COVID, Phoebe had an intestinal virus. So she was fighting 2 viruses at once, which I would not have wanted to have a virus on top of having COVID. So that was kind of rough for everyone. That being said, she's still not over that virus, and it's been over 2 weeks. And you know, we talked to the pediatrician, and like she couldn't go in because she had COVID. So they said it most likely was because she was fighting 2 viruses at once. It's taking a while to clear out. So we'll see if that clears out finally this week. Still waiting on that. Definitely we're on like the uphill swing with the other virus, but yeah, Phoebe's basically been sick for almost 3 weeks now. So it's been fun. We actually, all 3 of us, 3 separate times this past week have slept on the couch all night, because it was just easier for her because she was like having trouble sleeping. Since redoing our room a few months, whenever we got our new bed, which I guess was in the fall, we still haven't had time to like rehang our TV, so there's no TVs upstairs. And she wanted to be like awake at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we physically could not stay awake and run after her, so like we had to put on like Frozen just to like keep her still. So we spent 3 nights sleeping on the couch with Phoebe this past week. Scott said this was not how I expected our first sleepover to be. I can also share our weirdest COVID symptoms. I feel like COVID is so weird that like anytime something weird would happen to us, I would type in like the weird thing in COVID, and of course I was like, of course it's COVID. Of course it is. I bet you this video gets demonetized for how many times I say the word COVID. So for Scott, he was getting like random cramps in his toes. So yes, COVID toes is a thing where you get foot cramps. Oh, also, I've been really into the Urban Decay Sin palette, and I've just been using these 2 shades, Buck Off and Rocky, just like these 2 shades, and it's been like a really easy go-to look. So yeah, toe cramps is a COVID symptom. And then for me, the taste of copper in my mouth. A metallic taste apparently was also a symptom of COVID. So 2 weird symptoms. We did both lose our sense of smell for 2 days. Neither of us ever lost our sense of taste, but the smell was so funny because I didn't even notice, because first of all, I was just like, oh, Phoebe's diapers don't even smell. Like, thank God we have that going for us at least. Like, that's where my head was. I realized because I had made chickpea pasta, and I hate the way chickpea pasta smells. And I was like, wow, it doesn't smell today. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. And I stuck my nose in a Bath & Body Works candle, and I couldn't smell it. And I was like, whoa. But yeah, for both of us, no smell was only 2 days long. So I can smell all the bad smells again, don't worry. Now here we are home, not in Boston, and I feel so sad about it. You know, it was Scott's first high school friend's wedding. And we felt really bad that we couldn't go. I'm not sure if anyone else couldn't go because of COVID, but I felt really bad. And I still feel bad. And we actually were supposed to, on our way home today, visit my best friend who lives in Rhode Island, who I haven't seen since the summer of 2019, I guess. It was sad missing out on some big things this past weekend. We honestly like couldn't even really talk about it because we were both so bummed out. And on top of it, my brother and sister-in-law were in town this weekend from New York. They live in Ithaca. Obviously, Phoebe was supposed to spend a 3-nighter with my parents this past weekend, and they were supposed to get to see also my brother and sister-in-law. So she also didn't get to see them, and they didn't get to see her, which, you know, they don't come down too often. So it's a bummer. And, you know, we obviously could take Phoebe out, but I have no desire to do a long road trip with Phoebe this summer. It's just, she's at a very difficult stage. I feel like we don't have any vacations planned, let's put it that way. like this time last summer, we were at the Jersey Shore, and it's a lot easier driving in a car with a baby who naps versus a toddler who barely naps and hates being in the car. So no trips for us this summer, as of right now at least. I do feel like I'm drowning though, 100%. Like, it has been emotionally exhausting, physically exhausting, like being so sick, having no ability to have any help. It's just, I'm drowning. I'm losing my patience. I'm losing my mind. I feel like I need a break. However, leading up to the wedding, I had like put a lot of like basic like house tasks on hold, being like, can wait a week, I will do it after the wedding. And the day I tested positive was the day that Phoebe was supposed to go to my parents' house so that I could get all that stuff done. So like, so much hasn't gotten done, and it's just been like, our house is a disaster. And like, I actually told my parents this week that I need them to take her Wednesday and Thursday, because like I need to dedicate like a full day's worth of time to like floors of my house. So like Wednesday I'm going to focus on the downstairs, and Thursday I'm going to focus on the upstairs. But like, not only is the house like a disaster, but like, we've had COVID. I just want to like clean everything. I feel so gross. And I don't think I'm going to feel like back to like my normal self until everything is like put back together and reorganized, and just like, oh, like we still have stuff in suitcases from the wedding because I didn't fully unpack them originally, because I was like, next week we're going to be packing back up and going to Boston. Why am I going to unpack stuff that I need for Boston? So it's been an exhausting time I need a break. I need a break. And I haven't been able to film, and like, this is like my way of making any kind of money at this point to pay back my student loans. And if I can't even like film, I can't even make money. I don't know. I feel very, I guess, lost, I guess, in some sort of way. It's very hard to get back on the horse when I don't have the momentum that I've been in. That's why I try so hard to like constantly be filming, because when I am in a routine, I stay in a routine, but the second I fall out of that routine, I like cannot get back in it. Our deck was supposed to be started this past week. It's behind schedule. I'm just like, that's another stressor because like I need that deck. It's so hard taking her outside when like I have to be worried about her running in the street and falling on the driveway. And how hot is the driveway? Do I need to hose it down because she's gonna get burnt because she doesn't understand that the driveway's too hot, and like all this stuff where I just have to chase her constantly out front. And I want our deck for a little bit of peace of mind. It's been a hassle dealing with the deck stuff, and I just want it to be done. So it's been like very hard like mentally keeping it together. My skin has been the worst it's been in months. Honestly, I think it's because for those couple of days when I was so sick and I was wearing a mask trying to help them, like I was like coughing and sneezing into a mask, and I just feel like it completely congested my skin, and I feel like it didn't like ruin progress I've been making over the months trying to get my skin back in line, but like it definitely like made me take a step back. It's been not fun dealing with that. What else do I have on my list? Because I just finished my makeup. Oh, in funny news, our cats woke us up yesterday morning. Our bedroom door, it happens every summer, it won't close. And usually we try to remember to put something in front of it at night, but yesterday they broke in, and then when Scott like closed it and like blocked the door, they knocked on the door so loud to the point where Scott and I thought someone was outside our door, like a person like knocking, because it sounded like, and I was like, am I about to get murdered if I open this door? So that was weird that my cats can knock like humans. Yeah, I mean, that was the majority of the updates. I didn't want to sound like a Debbie Downer. It's just been rough around here. I really need to get back into a filming routine. It kind of makes me feel more like a person when I do that. I've just been very overwhelmed. It's very hard to, like I said, get back in the saddle once you've been off so long. I literally, right behind me, have a pile of makeup that I wanted to film with like the beginning of last month. That's all new stuff for me, but I just wanted to be able to sit down and play with it, and I just haven't had time between getting ready for the wedding, the week of the wedding, then having COVID, and like, it feels like time does not exist right now. There was a whole point last week where Scott and I had no idea what day of the week it was, the entire week, basically. Yeah, I feel like that's it. I feel like that's a lot I threw at you guys. This has just kind of been the basic makeup look I've been doing. One matte, one shimmer from the new Urban Decay palette. I've been doing that pretty exclusively since getting this. That's the video. Let me know if there's anything you want to see this month. I have a couple ideas in my head, but I feel like anytime I have an idea in my head, I overthink it and then I don't go through with it. That just seems to be like my thing lately. Hopefully the next video I film, I'm a little less congested. I'm a little bit more like a human, because right now I don't feel like a human. I feel like I've been trapped in a viral prison for the last 2 weeks. And yeah, that is it for this video. As usual, thanks for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, click the subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I have my Instagram down below. Give it a follow, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys!